Come on in, everyone. Come on here because we are here for Love After Lockup. Love During Lockup, Season 6 or Season 5, Episode 28. What's my backdrop for the day, y'all? What is my backdrop? It is the short yellow bus. The short yellow bus. Anybody know what the short yellow bus means? All aboard the short yellow bus. I don't want to be disrespectful. I need to be politically correct, so I'm not going to say people are dumb. But I am going to say that maybe they learn a little bit slower and differently than others. How's that for some politically correct jargon? But it's the short bus. So all aboard Shante, all aboard Ayana, all aboard Andrew, and all aboard Rick. Grab a seat, because this is where they belong on the short bus. Can y'all believe that Ayana is going to jail for 15 days? I thought the judge had said 45 days, but sounds like it's 15 days with 4 years probation. She's going the next day. And what she decides to use with her time is to run up and down the highway to go see a man in jail, not spend it with her kids. Like I said, get on the short bus. And then have the nerve to run in the bathroom, start crying, because what she says is it's unfair, and she's mad at the judge for the judge's attitude. The judge's attitude. This girl, she don't learn, or like I said, she learns slower and differently than others. I don't know how she learns, but however she learns, someone needs to figure out what is her learning style, because she's not learning anything in life. She's missing everything. It's almost like you have a lesson and Ayana doesn't get any of it. Even her friend said that she lives in an alternate universe, an alternate world. Her friend said, I don't get it. That friend needs to stop enabling her. Ayana don't even have a driver's license, and she got everybody driving her around all the time. Everybody got to drive her everywhere. She got a friend driving her up and down the coast, keeping her kids, driving her to go meet this prisoner. You know what this is called? I know a lot of people think this is called being a good friend. It's actually being called an enabler. People better learn the difference. People better learn the difference between being a friend and being an enabler. Because you know what? We've all been guilty of it. I've been an enabler several times in my life. I ain't gonna lie. I have been an enabler several times in my life. And when you are a person who always wants to help people, you can often get trapped in being an enabler. And after a while, what you have to learn is you have to learn to stop with that behavior. And I think people enable Ayana. So it's further keeping her on the short bus. The thing to get out of enabling is you got to realize that you're really not helping the people. You're actually making it worse. You're delaying their own growth, their own healing. And so sometimes you got to get past the feelings you're feeling, because you're feeling sad for the person. You're feeling empathetic for the person. You know you have resources to help the person, so you want to help them. But in the end, it doesn't help them. You know, it takes years sometimes for an enabler to stop being an enabler. Maybe I should just speak for myself. It took me years. It took me years. But I'm free now. I am free now. And what I see is a lot of people are enabling Ayana because Ayana doesn't learn. She doesn't learn. I really can't believe she's going to jail, and the thing she wanted to do was run up and down the highway to see this man. And even when she realized she was going to be late, she wasn't going to have much time, that she was only going to get 30 minutes with him, she should have said, you know what? Do I really need to drive up there for 30 minutes so that, as what she said, she can pussy pop, put it on her tongue, and then kiss him? Really, Ayana? This is what you worried about in your last days, last hours of freedom, is pussy popping, putting it on your tongue so you can kiss him. You get up there, you only got 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And you really could have spent all that time with your children. And then when she says the system is effing with her. Nothing Ayana did. Ayana act like she just out in the world, minding her own business, taking care of business, and the world just comes and F's with her. Like she just sitting on a park bench, eating a sandwich and drinking a bottle of water. And the world comes up to her and taps on her shoulder and says, Ayana, this is the world. We just want to F with you. This girl, like I said, the short bus, the short bus. She may learn slower and different than others. Someone needs to figure out, how does Ayana learn so she can start learning something. The other person on the short bus, I'm going to put him on there, is Andrew. I think Andrew figured it out this episode. I think you could see it coming over his face that, dang, that's the look of, like, you ever go to Vegas and you wake up the next morning and you start thinking about the day before, you go, dang, I done lost all my money. I done lost all my money. I'm starting to see that this was a bad investment. Bad investment. Candice hyped this man up, gassed this man up all this time while she was in prison. Talking about how much she loved him, what she was going to do to him when she got out of prison. She couldn't wait to see him. I can't wait to be with you. I can't wait to marry you. Then she gets out of prison and she says, you sleep over there because I ain't comfortable. What? You was comfortable talking all this stuff through the Zoom meeting, the FaceTime, in letters, phone conversations. I done spent $15,000 on you, and now I done spent $15,000, and you plop down on this king size bed. Talking about, ooh, what size bed is this? He said, it's a king size. She says, ooh, nice. Can you sleep over there? Candace is in the bathroom, putting on makeup that Andrew bought, flat ironing her hair with a flat iron that Andrew bought, taking a shower with water that Andrew paid for, bathing with some shower gel that Andrew paid for, putting on lashes that Andrew paid for, putting on clothes that Andrew paid for, getting a bag, sunglasses, jewelry, everything that Andrew paid for. And then what she says is, you know what? I've had trauma in my life, and the trauma in my life doesn't really allow me to really have anything to do with you. You know what? We're dealing with this trauma over on that other show we're watching. If any of you are watching it with me, which is the, what's it called? Never Ever Met. Now, I don't want to belittle anyone's trauma, because I think trauma is real, especially when it comes to sexual assault. But I am starting to see a bit of a pattern. And I'm going to tell you the pattern I see. This is why I don't want to minimize real trauma, but I'm wondering, are there women out here who use their trauma to not have to do things for men that they didn't want to do anyway? Like, are some people just using it as an excuse? I'm starting to wonder, because when I look at Candice, I'm saying, Candice, what you're telling me is that you talked all this good game. That's what I'm wondering. Why would you talk all this good game? If you know that your trauma is really going to prevent you from bonding with a person, what I'm wondering is should you have that sort of honesty up front, or should you overpromise and underdeliver? Should you talk this good game in prison, all what you want to do, all this stuff, and then when you get out, you say, oh, but I got trauma, I need to take it a lot slower. They asked her, Candice, are you attracted to Andrew? And there was an uncomfortable pause. I was like, girl, is the girl going to answer? She finally said, yeah, I'm attracted to him. I wasn't convinced. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I was not convinced. Oh, good Lord. Andrew, you're on the short bus. And unfortunately, Andrew, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Like I said, you may learn differently and slowly, but unfortunately, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Right now, you're at about $15,000. But that rent is due every single month. It's going to cost you some more money. When is Andrew going to learn? How does Andrew learn? When is he going to learn? Because Candice is taking him to the cleaners. And Candice is now out of prison. Talked all this good stuff. She out of prison, putting on makeup, flat ironing her hair, getting all pretty. And then tells this man, I'm getting pretty for somebody else, not you. And then she had the nerve to say, Andrew leaves in 3 days, and that's going to be better for me. She said it on camera. Andrew leaves in 3 days, and that's going to be better for me because I can do what I need to do without Andrew here, and I don't really want him here. All Candace is really doing is trying to get access to her son, which is fine. It's admirable that she's trying to make up for lost time, that she's trying to reconnect with her son, who is the most important thing to her. I get it. But you don't need to treat Andrew and do to Andrew what you're doing. climb over him, climb on his back, stomp over him. Horrible to watch, y'all. Horrible to watch. She was in there for burglary. That's what she was in prison for 2 years, and she's robbing him blind. She went to that little halfway house, and she was like, I can't live here. I need to live where my new apartment is. They said, yeah, just text every single day. As long as you text every single day, that's fine. Because they like, we're going to get a check for you anyway. Whoever's running that little halfway house is like, just check in because you don't have to be here because we're going to get a check for you whether you here or not. Woo, I tell you, this judicial system, y'all don't know where your tax dollars is going. This is where it's going to support Candices of the world. When she came home, she was like, he's like, are you feel comfortable? She says, yeah, all I need now is some fried chicken. He goes, that's fine. I'll order for you right now. Candice want everything but Andrew. She can come up with a whole list of things she wants, but it never includes Andrew. Ain't that something? He tried to say, Candice, you know what? Can you be in a committed relationship with me? She said, I can have a commitment to your money. As long as you giving me the money, I will be committed to you. But I can't be close to you in bed. Candice only want to be close to the money. She don't want to be close to Andrew. That is the difference. Like I said, Andrew, all aboard. Grab a seat on the short bus. Because you belong here. You really do belong here. We're going to save another seat on the short bus for Shante. Come on in, Shante. Get on. Get on the bus. You know what? Everybody be trying to warn these women over, or people try to warn over these inmates. The family members do try to warn. Even Ayana's, the family of Jamal, that mom and them sisters, tried to warn Ayana of Jamal, but turned out I was making fun of that mama when that mama was saying, what are your intentions with my son? But shoot, I'm with you, mama. Jamal's the one in danger. Jamal's more in danger than Ayana is. So I'm with you, mama. I wasn't with you earlier, but I see you. I see where you're coming from. But here, this mama of True is trying to warn Shante to say, girl, you ain't his type. Your money is his type. But you ain't his type. In fact, Shante said that when True don't get his money, not only does True get upset, True's mama calls and says, why do you send my son the money? Scams run deep. Scams run deep. Sometimes the whole family's involved. But that was a sad story to hear that mama kind of put True in jail. That mama threw True under the bus. Talk about being on the short bus. That mama threw True under the bus, and now Shante is on the bus. True been in jail for 13 years. I guess he and his mama just started talking not too long ago, because that mama had even friends testify against her own son. I guess. I know I don't want people to be an enabler, but shoot, I don't know. That might be going too far. That right there might be going too far. There's a whole lot of room between being an enabler, but then trying to find people to testify against your son. What is True in jail for again? Robbery. Maybe that mama got some of the money and wanted to keep it. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's some weird family dynamics going on. But you know what? That mama was good enough to try to warn Shante. That mom and that sister tried to tell Shante, you know he only date white girls. And Shante said, I know. But I'm different. Everybody always think they different. People can have a long pattern history of doing the same exact thing. And some people come along and go, yeah, I know that's what you've been doing for the last 20 years, but I'm different. You're going to do differently with me. Okay. How much money you willing to bet on it? How much money you willing to bet on it? $15,000 like Andrew? You ready to lose $15,000? Shante says she ain't been up to see True. And that mama says, why ain't you never really been to see him in person? Shante said, I got my reasons. I don't want to share my reasons. I think it's because Shantae's catfishing him. She is catfishing him. I don't know. Shante and them pictures been photoshopped. Or, maybe she just went to an all glam thing. I don't know. It's probably going to be some other reason Shante comes up with. Maybe she's had a bad experience. Maybe there's some trauma behind it. Here we go again. There's going to be some trauma behind it, and she don't want to have that trauma again. I understand. Like I said, it's not going to be that the trauma ain't real, but I tell you, maybe I'm going to start thinking of some stuff. Anytime I don't want to do something, I'm going to just come up with some type of trauma story. And I'm not going to tell people I don't want to do it. I'm just going to say, you know what? I've trauma surrounding that. I don't want to do it. People leave you alone. People do leave you alone when you tell them you have trauma behind it. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like get out of jail free card. I got trauma. I mean, because don't we all got trauma out here? Whose child life was perfect? Who don't have some trauma? I don't know. When does it end? When does it end? When do you have to start taking responsibility for your trauma and healing so it doesn't become an obstacle in your life at some of these ages some of these people are dealing with? I don't know. Like Rick. He's darn near 50 years old. I don't know how old Rick is. He look older. That's what alcohol does to you. Alcohol makes you look older. Rick could be 30 years old, but he look like he's 60. That's all I say. He could be 30 years old, but he looks like he's 60. And that song he sang for Samantha, that was a horrible song. He must have written that when he was drunk. He definitely didn't write that song when he was sober. He must have written that song when he was drunk. Because even once he started singing it, he was like, this don't make no sense. He was getting lost in his own words. Yeah, because they didn't make any sense. It wasn't a good song. But hey, you know what? Samantha liked it. Samantha liked it enough, says good. Now can you go give me some B12, some vitamin D, some power building powder? And Rick's friend was like, why does she need all these vitamins? What's she training for? Miss Olympia? Is she trained to be Miss Olympia? His friend said, you know what? She's selling this stuff in prison. That's what I say, friend. I think these inmates are selling this stuff in prison. And so then Rick says, I'm going to marry you, Samantha. Will you marry me? Will you be my bride? She says, yep. He says, I'm going to move to Idaho. I'm going to get my Uber driver friend to drive me all the way up to Idaho to visit you. I'm going to bring all these vitamins and nutrients and powder for muscle building. $500 worth. $500 worth of muscle building powder. Shit, Samantha, what you turning into, a man? Why you need that much muscle? Good Lord. Rick, we got a spot for you on the short bus. Come on, Rick. Come on in here, Rick. Come on in here and get on the short bus. Y'all, I don't know. Like I said, we're trying to figure out who's going to get out next. It's a race to see who's going to get out next. We didn't see Teeny and Rob. Oh, and prayers going out to Joey's mom. I don't know how this ends, but it looks like it's not going to end well, y'all. It looks like it's not going to end well. So my heart goes out to Joey over what happened to his mom with the aneurysm and the stroke. That was really, really sad to hear. That was sad to hear. But it sounds like maybe, but in a lot of ways, maybe it's also a bit of a wake-up call to Joey, because I think what is making Joey is think, right? It's making him think, and he's asking himself, why am I running around chasing this inmate in jail, trying to learn how to do fellatio with some man in jail when I got more pressing issues over here in my life? And right now, that more pressing issue is his mother's health. So maybe this will be what it takes for Joey to put a little distance between him and Michael. Maybe now that he can focus on something else, instead of helping Michael, sending him money and trying to make Michael's life better, maybe Joey can take all that compassion and turn it towards his mother and use it there. Maybe he can do it that way. That's my prayer for him. But anyway, y'all, we will see next week who gets out of prison next. I don't know who it's going to be. A lot of you have said it's going to be True that's going to be getting out of prison next. That should be good. That would be real interesting. I would be really interested in seeing True get out of prison. I don't think Ayana's man Jamal is getting out anytime soon. So it's either going to be True or it's going to be Rob getting out. And I think it might be True. Someone else mentioned that, because he now is getting out in 2 to 3 weeks at the time of this taping. So I can see possibly we might, or at least the episode is going to be on prepping him getting out. That's going to be interesting. So y'all definitely come back and join me so we can talk about it. But drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this episode. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.